Hey, I'm trying to record a video here. Turn it down. Do you ever try and talk over this kind of thing and your voice starts to get hoarse and tired? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Stick around. Turn it down. Hey, I'm Spencer Welch of spencerwelch.com. I'm an international vocal coach, consultant to film studios and record labels, and I'm also the Director of Education for the Institute for Vocal Advancement, or IVA, where I train teachers all over the world how to teach singing. So I'm a teacher's teacher. So if you don't want to miss out on any of the content coming your way regarding singing, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. So do you get hoarse regularly or even lose your voice when you speak for extended amounts of time? Maybe you're a teacher in a classroom or a sports coach or a server in a restaurant. And when you go to work, you're always worried whether your voice is going to hold out for the whole shift, for the whole day. If what I'm talking about sounds kind of familiar, then today's video was created especially for you with love. Because I know how stressful that can be to be in a job where you need your voice. Believe me, I'm a vocal coach. If I lose my voice, what good am I going to be? So by the end of this video, you're going to have a better idea of why you get hoarse, and I'm going to give you 3 tips to be able to care for your voice and keep your voice healthy as you speak throughout the day. Why are you getting hoarse? There can be several reasons. That's hard to say. There can be several reasons why you might be going hoarse. What they all have in common is that you're speaking with too much wear and tear for too long. You're speaking in a way that's inefficient. So we could make this into a little formula. Inefficiency times time equals hoarseness. Meaning, if I speak in a highly irritating way for a short amount of time, I will probably lose my voice. If I scream for the next 5 minutes, I will lose my voice very quickly. See? On the other hand, if I speak in a way that's just slightly irritating to my voice, let's say I just kind of talk like this, times time, it's going to take a lot more time for my voice to go hoarse because that's just slightly inefficient. It is irritating my voice, but not nearly as much as the screaming. Shall we try the screaming again? Didn't think so. So to recap, you can speak in a way that has some wear and tear on your voice, and if it's just for a short amount of time, you might walk away okay. Or you can speak in a way that's more efficient, that has very little wear and tear on your voice for a long amount of time, and walk away feeling great. But what you can't do is speak in a way that's irritating to your throat, that has a lot of wear and tear for a long amount of time, and walk away unscathed. You are probably going to feel some hoarseness. And by the way, this equation goes for singing also. What causes the irritation? There can be a lot of factors involved in why your voice feels hoarse. But a big one is if you feel strain, if you feel stress in your throat, that's a big giveaway. If you're clearing your throat, coughing, swallowing a lot, those can all be red flags where your throat is saying to you, hey, I don't like what you're doing to me. There can be 2 extremes at play in your voice which may be causing you to go hoarse. One of them is muscle. The other is air. And so if we pretend that these are like the scales of justice, on one extreme is too much muscle or hyperfunction. Too much effort, too much work, strain, irritation. On the other extreme is too much air, not enough effort, or hypofunction. And at either one of these extremes, your voice can get tired. So first, let's talk about too much muscle. This basically falls into the category where you're getting strain and tension from overdoing things. You're just working too hard and pushing on your voice. So whether you're in a classroom of unruly children or a club that's blasting music out, the temptation can be, hey, I'm going to push my voice. I'm going to try to project my voice over top of this loud atmosphere to be heard. And when you do that, your vocal folds squeeze together, and then you have to force air through them to make them vibrate. And so instead of your vocal cords vibrating in this comfortable, easy way, now they're slamming together. And just in the same way as my hands sting after doing that, your vocal folds also can get stung. Okay, now let's talk about too much air. How many times have you said, hey, my voice is tired, so I'm just gonna rest it by whispering? Now, it's a really great idea to save your voice when it's tired and to go easy on it, but whispering is the wrong approach. Put it this way, have you ever slept all night with your mouth open only to wake up with a dry, sore throat? This is very similar to whispering for long amounts of time. Your vocal cords are covered by a thin mucous membrane that needs to stay lubricated, that needs to stay hydrated, so that as your vocal folds collide, there's not too much friction created, and then your vocal folds swell up from the irritation. Now, what happens when you whisper is that air quickly passes across the vocal folds, drying out that mucous membrane, and in the process, reducing the lubrication, so that as your vocal folds collide, now they don't create that clear, buzzy sound, but it's kind of raspy, and as the vocal folds come together, they get swollen, they get irritated, and it can start to turn into fatigue. So when you have a tired voice, whispering is the last thing that you should do to try to save it. Because as you do this, you are going to feel what little voice you have left go away. 3 tips for healthy speaking. Number 1, find your optimum pitch. Hey everybody, say hi to 90s Spencer.
Yup. What's up?
Hey, what you doing?
Just checking to see if you wanted to go to the Nirvana concert tonight.
Dude, Nirvana hasn't been around for like decades now. What's going on with your voice?
What about it?
You're talking super low, man.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you sound like Kim Kardashian just woke up.
He's the guy defending OJ, right? Anyway, people say I've got a sexy voice, kind of like Luke Perry.
Let me guess, 90210. And that is 90s Spencer, everybody.
Peace.
90s Spencer. And sadly, that's how I spoke, down in the basement of my voice for years, and it took me years to train myself out of doing that. In my travels, I've gone to a couple countries where people speak higher than their optimum pitch. But in general, what I notice is that people are speaking too low. Now, I don't know if this is because people get a little bit lazy, or if they're just trying to give personal space to other people, or if they're trying to sound more authoritative, but overall, people are speaking lower than where their voice optimally should be, and this is taking a toll on the health of their voice. The problem with speaking too low is as you go down into the basement of your voice, it's just not set up to resonate very well down here. And so because now you can't be heard very well, you might be tempted to add more muscle, more push to try to be heard. So instead of talking down here, let's try to find the optimum pitch, the optimum place in our voice where it projects easily and feels most comfortable for the most amount of time. When I speak below my optimum pitch,
I sound kind of creepy and tight.
When I speak above my optimum pitch, I sound kind of light or kind of tight. When I'm doing an event in another country, I might in one day do a 2-hour masterclass and then teach 6 hours of private lessons. And then after all of that, go out to one of their fine restaurants in order to enjoy the local cuisine. But all of this speaking can take a toll on my voice. So the number one way that I protect my voice when I'm on the road speaking is to keep it raised around my optimum pitch. So there are several ways that you can find the optimum pitch for your voice. Today we're going to use the method. The first way is the agreeing like, I agree to your proposition, dear sir. The second is the asking as in, really? So I want you to try both of these to see which one gets you into a part of your voice that's most comfortable and where your voice resonates most easily. For some of you, the is going to be a little too low, and so you should probably use the asking where it goes up to find your optimum pitch. Now, once you find that optimum pitch, hey, try to speak there to see what it feels like. Or, See how that's a little bit higher than the first way? Number 2, speak like a robot at your optimum pitch. Hello, humans, we come in peace. This is what I mean by speaking like a robot. You find that optimum pitch, and then you speak in a bit of a monotone quality on that pitch. Now, when I'm in just daily speech, my optimum pitch is around an E or F3. So, hello, how are you? My name is Spencer. That's an E3. So that's just kind of right around in this area here, where I'm just speaking in this kind of part of my voice. If I get excited, or if I'm doing public speaking, my voice might rise to an F-sharp 3. Hello, my name is Spencer. It's so good to meet you. And then, of course, if I'm on YouTube, then I'm way up here sometimes in order to bring the energy to all of you. So first, find your optimum pitch with the Then, once you've found that optimum pitch in that area, just like you're on Star Trek, I want you to say this phrase: zebras neigh their vain refrain. Everybody now. Zebras neigh their vain refrain. Zebras neigh their vain refrain. So right around that area, get a bit monotone. If you want, you can go full robot. Zebras neigh their vain refrain. But the idea is not to get locked up in it, but to just get used to staying on a slightly higher pitch than where you typically do when you're doing more of your John Wayne kind of thing. Now, of course, you would be shunned by civilized society if you actually walked around talking like this. So this is just a temporary exercise to get you used to speaking on that optimum pitch. In general, it's a bad idea to speak in a monotone way, and this is why it's so important to not talk at the bottom part of your voice all the time. Because once you hit the basement, there's no lower. You can't go any further down, and so you end up just smacking against the same part of your vocal folds over and over and over. You see, I already feel tired just doing that for what was that, 20 seconds? So, how we doing so far? Have you found your optimum pitch? Do you feel like, speaking up in this part of your voice like William Shatner is helping you to raise your voice out of that basement? If this is working for you so far, tell me in the comments. Number 3, roller coaster your range. So basically this means vary your pitch around that optimum pitch. So move your voice up and move it down around that optimum pitch like a roller coaster. Not only will this save your voice, because now your vocal folds are colliding in different ways as you vary your pitch and your intensity, but you're also becoming way more interesting to listen to. This is what we call prosody, which is basically the melodic aspects of speech. So find your optimum pitch, then zebras neigh their vain refrain. And now that you're in that optimum pitch, zebras neigh their vain refrain, or Mary, Mary, quite contrary. You could really take anything. You could take the phone book. Spencer, what's a phone book? Okay, you get the point. The idea is take anything, read out of a book, but just vary the pitch and the intensity of your voice like a roller coaster. What we're trying to avoid is zebras neigh their vain refrain, or zebras neigh their vain refrain. Any kind of monotone speaking is going to take a toll on your voice. So now you know why your voice can get tired or hoarse, plus you have tips for how to keep your speaking voice flexible, vibrant, and healthy. So tell me in the comments how you did with all of this. Practice these tips and tools first by yourself until they become fairly natural to you. You want to get these to a point where they start to go from being something that you consciously focus on to something that unconsciously starts to become part of you. Then start to try sneaking it into your daily speech. If you met me 20 years ago, I talked like this. And it took me a long time to change how I spoke. And in the process, my mom would sometimes say, Spencer, why are you speaking so weird? I don't know, Mom. I'm just trying to pitch my voice up. So this takes time. This takes practice. Now, if you work with a trained, certified vocal coach, a voice teacher, you're going to save yourself so much frustration, and you're going to cut down on the time that it takes to get these new habits to become internalized, to become a part of you. If you don't currently have a vocal coach, we would love to work with you. And right now, my studio is offering a trial Skype lesson for only $15. The link is in the description. If you found value in this video, please let me know by liking it, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to share it with your fellow speakers and singers out there that might benefit from this information. And I will see you in the next video.
I think we got it.
So do you know if they
Look at that, I'm still talking down here.
So do you know if they